How could you be worthy?
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's morphin' time!
Acknowledge me!
Give your balls a tug!
I'm delighted about it.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker!
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
You are now listening to Unworthy AF. Here is your host, the bastard, Unworthy Collector.
What's up, everybody? It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and it's time for the first ever live edition of Unworthy AF Action Figure Photography Show. It's been a while since I've done one of these Unworthy AF shows. I've been doing a lot of the A-Worthy Addiction, which you can catch on Thursday nights on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, alongside my brother Toy Addict 17. But today it's Unworthy AF, and we're going to talk some Toypix and Chill. We got some awesome hosts and guest stars tonight. We've got none other than Toy Art Unlimited.
What's up?
And hailing from the blustery tundras of Canada, we've got Danger Room Toy Photography.
What's up?
Gentlemen, how are you doing this morning? Thank you for joining me on such a beautiful Sunday.
Well, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, it's an honor, dude. Thank you.
Absolutely. You know, I try to do these shows to focus on everybody's action figure photography, everybody that uses the hashtag UnworthyAF. And I like to do it with people who also are in the community doing action figure photography, including Jesus Christ, words, involving people like you guys here is my main goal, because you guys are not slouches when it comes to the toy photography. You guys are quite amazing in your own right. So it's awesome to have two stellar toy photography artists here with me on the show.
God damn, you're gonna make me blush, dude.
So I usually like to get into a little bit of backstory, hear from you guys, how you got started. I know that you guys have both been on some other shows and shared your backstory, but why don't we start off with Toy Art Unlimited? Why don't you give us a little backstory on how you got started here in the photography community?
Well, I got started in photography because I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh and took it as a major. Then when I graduated from that, I came back. And the problem was, after going to school for 2 years and spending hours upon hours in dark rooms and color labs, everything went digital about a year after I got out of school. And all the shit I had just learned had pretty much gone useless. Okay. So, well, I wouldn't say useless. Obviously, I still use a lot of it. But, I mean, as far as, like, all the actual, like, film and you know, all that aspect of it, it was shot. So, I did concert photography for a while. I went on tour with a few bands and did some work. Then when I came back, I didn't really have any way to use it, and I just kind of fell asleep on it. And then I came across Mitchell Wu doing his thing, and I was like, wait a minute, so you can take pictures of toys? So then I'll have a legitimate reason to buy more toys? Yeah, I'm on board with this. So instantly I started doing it, and I was like, you know what? This is a lot of fun.
You were a toy collector prior to doing the toy photography.
A little bit. I was buying some Black Series stuff. I had a few Marvel Legends. The thing that actually got me all hooked on it was Sabretooth. I saw Marvel Legends Sabretooth, and I was like, oh, man, I got to get this. And then the next thing you know, it was you got Sabretooth, you got to have Wolverine. And then the next thing I knew, I was collecting the full 90s X-Men set, and it was all downhill from there.
So are you talking the Marvel Legends, like from Hasbro Sabretooth, or the original toy?
Yeah, no, the has like the newer like Hasbro Legends.
Yeah, that's a dope figure. It was a grail for me for a while. You know, I remember when I was younger, I was only collecting when I was first starting collecting, I was only collecting like Spider-Man figures, Thor figures, Hawkeye figures. And I slept on that whole apocalypse wave that Sabretooth was in.
Yeah.
or Juggernaut, whichever wave he was in. I slept on that whole wave, seen him in the stores all the time, never bought them. And then finally, when I'm like, okay, I want these, then they're not available. You got to pay an arm and a leg
Yeah.
to get them.
And the apocalypse that you get in that wave is crazy too. I love that figure.
Yeah,
It's
sick.
got a real crazy
Yeah.
sheen to it, and it's dope.
Yeah, he's still probably the best. I think the Toy Biz Apocalypse, the Build-A-Figure one, that was so gigantic. That one was
Yeah,
a really
that
good
was
one too.
sick, though.
But I think that Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave, that Build-A-Figure was good from Hasbro. The not House of X, the Age of Apocalypse one is the one I've got, which is not bad, but the colors aren't right for like regular X-Men shots unless it's the Age of Apocalypse figures.
Yeah.
Right.
So how about you, Danger Room? How did you get into this lovely hobby that we're all enjoying?
Well, I've only been doing it for 10 months, 9 months maybe. Basically same idea. Like I've been a long time collector. My adult life, I think we've been collecting 4 years now. But it's something like even on my personal Instagram, I used to come across these accounts, and it's something I always wanted to get into. But I never had a camera. I still have a camera. I use everything off my phone. But basically, because phone cameras now, they're freaking almost as good, right?
You get 10 of them in one phone.
Yeah. So I finally eventually said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. The wife, she started doing it months prior than I did. I was watching all the fun she did, and I used to get so cheesed. I was like, man, I want to do that. But at the time, what I was using, the quality of the camera wasn't there, and I wasn't even going to attempt it. Like even with the phone I had at the time, like you try to light it and stuff, it wasn't for me. I knew I wasn't going to have fun. And then, eventually, like I started doing it. I took my first shot. Wasn't anything special. Like I'm still learning, obviously, but I fell in love with it right away. Like this is almost, for me personally, it's almost as addicting, if not more addicting than collecting the figures at this point. Like
Absolutely.
I get so many ideas in a day. It's crazy to. Even at work, I'll have like 10 to 15 ideas. I won't do them necessarily. I won't have the time in the day to do it. But I'm still, I guess, in the honeymoon phase of doing this. I hope like that never goes away, because I have not slowed down by any means. If anything, it's accelerated.
Yeah, there is a lot of burnout I noticed lately within the community. People pumping out stuff daily, and you can tell with certain people like they're starting to lose the passion for it. I'm guilty of it myself. Like I got into such a funk of doing just like up close portrait shots or re-edits of things that I had already done, and kind of lost my love for it for a little while, got burnt out, but I'm trying to come back into it with the mindset of instead of just pumping shit out daily, I want to make sure I'm actually telling some sort of story with my shot, or have it mean something more than just like a product shot, trying to get a job with McFarlane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Toy Art, what is your favorite line of figures to shoot right now?
I mean, G.I. Joe Classified really hits home for me just because I'm a kid of the 80s and those are what I grew up with. So I love those, but man, I have to admit, man, thanks to Mike TV, I am a Mez cultist now. Like Mezco, there's something about a Mezco, man. There's no bad way to pose them. Everything you do to them, they look is a photograph. Like they're amazing. And the Vapor that I have, man, that's probably my favorite figure. If I even look at it, that's it. Like I'm automatically taking the camera out, and like Mezco is my heart right now. I just wish they would release more instead of showing you pictures of things you're not going to get for a year and a half.
Yeah. That seems to be Mezco's main thing. They pump them out there for pre-orders, and then you seem like you're waiting forever. Some of them, like the DC properties, it doesn't seem like you're waiting too long from the time they announce them. Like it seems like that Mr. Freeze got announced, and then boom, it was out.
It kind of seems to depend on like you said, the licensing, like the Marvel stuff, and like that takes forever. Like, but like you said, the DC stuff, their independent stuff, like all their 112 collective, like Rumble Society and all that, like they show it to you and it usually comes somewhat quick. But their Marvel stuff, like, forget about it.
Yeah, it's like their horror stuff is generally pretty popular. I wonder sometimes if it's not like they're not exactly crowdfunding it, obviously, but kind of like Super 7 does, where they're like, this is what we're going to put out, and then if they don't have enough pre-orders, they just cancel it. So it's like they're
Right.
trying to make sure they get the guaranteed money or whatever. But their horror stuff, like the Owl Man, like that took forever to come, or I don't even think that one's still come out. But their Jason figures, they come out pretty consistently. Michael Myers, yeah, their Rumble Society figures seem to they fly right off the shelves. You can't really seem to keep those in stock, and they go on back order and all that. How about you, Andrew? What's your favorite line?
Honestly, like I shoot just about everything. Depending on the mood, like I'll go through phases where I'll only shoot McFarlane stuff, or then the next week it'll just be like Marvel Legends. So it's really a tricky question. Like posing wise, I love shooting Mythic Legions. I need to get more of those. Same thing, Mezco. Like I actually got two above me right now. I got Blade right there.
Okay.
And the Crow.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the Crow's sick. But yeah, I don't know. Like honestly, it just depends on my mood. I go through phases. Like I went one time where I did like a Batman and deluxe figure, like face-off series, and that's all I did for a week straight. It was just McFarlane stuff. So honestly it depends on the mood. So keep on.
Your McFarlane shots are always so crisp, and I know McFarlane gets a lot of hate for pumping out the same figures all the time or the same characters. But you make those figures when you do your up close, like those when they're zoomed right in, hyper focused, and like they're just so crisp and so clean, and just they're incredible. I think hats off to you. You definitely inspired a lot of the shots that I've been trying to do those.
Oh, man, that means the world to me, man. Like I strive on doing that. So like the thing with McFarlane's too, like I get it, they get a lot of flack, but honestly, like paint app wise and the details, they can't even compare to anything. Like if I were to put up any McFarlane against a Marvel Legend, just the detail work in a McFarlane, like you can get them, they almost look realistic. You know what I mean? Whereas like a Hasbro, I don't know, they're very cartoony. Like they're very smooth. The detailing and the line work, it's not there. So that's when I ever do like those close up shots of like the McFarlane, I try and make it look real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you definitely do. And like McFarlane does get a lot of hate and bashing on him, and it's not those toys aren't without fault. Like I just got that the Ben Affleck Batman from the Flash Wave, and his fucking eyes aren't even painted. It's like, why is this mask
detail on the sculpt is amazing. It's the paint that he always drops it on. Like there's some that one that Ben Affleck from the Flash there, that one comes to mind immediately. And then it does seem like sometimes they put those figures together while they're still wet, and then joints don't move, and then you try to warm them up and get them loose, and you end up breaking something off of them. That happened with Grifter. I had one of his hands, his paint was so thick on it, I couldn't get it to move, so I would soak it in hot water, move it a little bit, heat it with the blowgun, and move it a little bit, and then next thing you know, the whole fucking hand snapped off. So then I went and had to buy another one, which that one was all right. The paint was all right on that one. But I think with McFarlane too, there's a lot of complaints about like you can't, he puts out Batman.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hasbro puts out 13 fucking Deadpools in a year, and nobody.
But the same people that complain about it are out there buying them all the time. Otherwise, he wouldn't be selling them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm guilty of it. I buy just about every Batman. But a lot of people don't consider the fact that just because he has the DC line doesn't mean he can just put out whatever he wants. He's got to get the okay from Warner Brothers and from DC official. Like if he says, "Oh, I just want to put out the Black Canary from the DCs where she's a Green Lantern," just because he wants to doesn't mean he can. Like he's got to get that okay first. Hasbro does the same shit. I think all these toy companies, they do the same thing. They've got to answer to the IP owner. So, I mean, it is what it is. Deadpool gets about 32 figures a year. Batman gets 32 figures a year.
So does Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Wolverine,
these
yeah.
companies are going to sell what their bread and butter is.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And they sell. And like you said, they sell. Batman figures sell.
Yeah.
Jokerized versions of characters sell. That's why he
Yeah.
does it. It's not just because he's eating his mayonnaise and snorting coke in the back room and thinking, I'm going to put this out. They sell. He makes the money on it. So the unworthy AF hashtag has been going on for a while. I think I announced it way back in September of last year, or maybe even longer ago than that. But there's been a lot of participation, and it's been such a long time since I've done one of these episodes that I thought we'd bring up the unworthy AF hashtag and start going through some pictures that have that tag, if you guys would like. Get you guys' opinion on some of them. Get this added in here. All right. Oh my goodness, is it only going to show me mine? Oh, I know what I did. Sorry. Hashtag unworthy AF. We got a MIDI Ranger here as our first pickup in this list. This is I'm drawing a blank, the Magna Defender Power Ranger figure. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I like it. It's pretty dope. I'm always afraid to shoot things from the back for some reason. Like, I don't know what it is about me. I always have this urge that like I have to see the face, or like I'm worried people aren't going to see what. I don't know. I've got to rethink how I'm doing things lately, because obviously that's not the case. This is a good shot. I like the backlighting.
Yeah, the backlighting comes in clutch here, given the outline of the figure, and you can just make out just enough details of him from behind.
I like the background too. The backdrop you use, it makes it pop more too, right? With just a solo dark figure like that. I think you picked the right choice in doing that with the pink clouds there.
Yeah, definitely the mistiness or the foggy quality up front. So it's like he's charging into some sort of electrified battle or something is what it makes me think.
The only thing, like for me personally, what I would have done and what I would have liked better here is if he darkened the figure itself. I don't know what this individual uses to shoot, but like if he was able to edit the saturation a bit and darken the figure in itself, I think it would have popped out more and gave it more of like a three-dimensional look to it, especially with that background. But other than that, yeah, it's a dope shot.
Also, you could have gotten the same kind of background by simply getting one of those little like Ulanzi lights and getting it that color, lighting it from the bottom, and then hitting it with a mister. You would have gotten that same kind of fogginess in the back from a practical sense. I don't know. I like it though. It's cool.
Yeah, this first one definitely out of the three, it definitely is. It pops. It's pulled together right very well here. On these next two, the only suggestion I would make is I don't know if a lot of people do this. I'm sure a lot of people do, but using bounce cards for your lights rather than shining a light directly on them, so you don't have the glare. Like I use, I don't have any in here at this moment, but I use like white foam board, and I'll prop it up inside near the shot, and then I'll shine my light on the whiteboard rather than directly onto the figure. Because there is on these second two, there's a little bit more of a brightness and glare almost from the light over here on the side of his helmet, but still great. And like you were saying too, Toy Art, is using your light to make those color backgrounds. That's another trick too. I use a foam whiteboard behind the figure, and then I have these Vivitar brick lights, and I'll turn them on to a certain color that I want and shine that onto the light or onto the whiteboard to give it color. But yeah, great shots from
great shot,
Midi
man.
Ranger. And we got codename Steve here with Torpedo.
Oh, sick.
You're a GI Joe guy, Toyar. What's your thoughts on this?
Wow, that's all I can say. I mean, I have this figure, and I've been trying to find a way to shoot it right to have it look that good. This guy nailed it. I mean, that is awesome.
Yeah, it definitely suspends it. Like this almost looks like he has Torpedo for sure underwater. Like with the
Well, I'm
bubbles.
kind of thinking maybe he does. He might have actually stuck that in a fish tank.
Like
Nah,
put it
maybe
in
not.
the
Judging by
fish tank,
the
and then
but-
maybe he might have taken the picture of him in water and then added this the seafloor background in.
I don't know,
Or,
but
or he's got an incredible fish tank.
it is amazing. That's all I can say.
Like my
That's
audio.
such a good figure too. I mean, I haven't done it any justice, and that's why I haven't shot it since I got it. Really, is because it deserves to look this good, basically.
Yeah, the bubbles coming off of the helmet or the backpack, the breather or whatever there. Like he nailed
I'm
it.
almost thinking maybe there was a diver in this picture to begin with, and he got rid of the diver, and then he put him over the existing bubbles.
Oh yeah, good possibility.
I don't know, but whatever he did, he nailed it.
What you think, Danger Room?
My audio it's really messed up right now. Just give me. I think it looks sick though, man. Like I can't tell if like it's really good. Like it looks legitimately underwater, especially with the oxygen tank going off. Like that is pretty cool, man. Come on, buddy.
Definitely great shot from codename Steve. We got the Pop Culture Vulture returns here with the Cheeseburger family. I love how he does these
That is
little
awesome.
GIF versions with like the zoom effects on them. And you got the regular one next to it. I believe these McDonald's figures came in those adult Happy Meals, the ones with the 4 eyes here. They had like for a little while they had those adult Happy Meal things there. They had like adult collectible toys or whatever in them. Got a tragic shark attack with Mayor McCheese here.
I don't know, but that Mayor McCheese figure is awesome.
Yeah.
Sick, man.
Soft goods, everything. That's awesome. I can't tell what the thing is up here in the top. Almost looks like the banana. Oh, it's the McDonald's moon, like the moon guy, I think.
Unbelievable.
Awesome shot from the Pop Culture Vulture returns. Oh, and we got an awesome shot here of the Gucci figures from the Unhuman. Awesome
Oof.
shot of Venom chasing after Peter. What's your guys' thoughts on this one?
My thought is that this reinforces the fact that something that I've been telling myself, which is I really need to go to posing school, because I've had a couple of good Spider-Mans, and I've been trying to get those killer shots, and I don't know. I guess I need to do more referencing, because the stuff that some of these people do, like this shot is amazing.
Yeah, I love all of the little accoutrement he's got in the background here, all the little accessories, the blocks, the garbage cans, the pallets, toolboxes. This looks like a legit chase scene.
Yeah. It doesn't help that these figures look awesome either.
Unhuman, he definitely he takes the time in setting up his shots and making sure the background looks. He very rarely ever does anything that's like faked. Like he doesn't usually use any kind of digital backgrounds or anything. Like he's got
Right.
all these accessories. He makes sure his background is always on point.
My problem is spacing. Like I don't have the space to really set up scenery. Like I've got a lot of it and I use it, but I'm very limited on how, like I see some of these people space that they set their stuff up in and get to shoot on, and I'm like, God, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
But that's a sick shot.
Yeah, and the lighting is on point here. He's got, you know, you could tell there's like an overhead light in the background here, so it's lighting up the top of Venom and Spidey, but also casting shadows here on the floor from the blocks and the accessories.
It's not easy lighting black figures either.
It isn't. It really isn't.
That's dope.
There he is. There he is. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, my internet's kind of wonky. We got a rainstorm coming.
Oh,
yeah, that's
boy.
a sick shot, man.
There he is. We lost you for a second. Yeah, definitely great. I love the background. Love all the effects that he put into it. Not effects, the accessories that he put into it. Great job from Unhuman. All the effects that he put into it. And then we got Toy Addict 17 with a beautiful Jason shot here.
I popped so hard for this yesterday when you threw it up there. It is it's so realistic looking.
Looks just like a scene from the movie.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I like how he shot it real portrait and everything's blurred out and he's like super in focus. You can see all the detail. The lighting is perfect. He looks like he's in that environment. He nailed it.
Absolutely.
He does a lot of great shots with the horror figures. He tries to do like the movie poster quality, and he nails it every time. And we got Toy Addict 40s with some G.I. Joes getting taken down for Shark Week here.
It's wild.
That is dope.
That is incredible. I think this is that. This looks like that Fortnite boat that everybody's been going crazy for. I could be wrong.
Absolutely, that's what it is.
Dude, the action in this is insane.
Yeah, it's like a legitimate scene. It gives you almost the Creature from the Black Lagoon vibes, like with the way that the shark's coming out of the water, but then you add in guns and boats and Joes, and it's King Shark. This is incredible.
This is one of those shots I wish I could see the behind the scenes shot because
this
is awesome.
The splash effects, Toy Addict 40, he does a lot of these, like the effects, the lightning, the rain, the splashes in the water, but he always nails it. Because you see a lot of people that do these overlays with like the lightning digital effects, and like you could tell that it's you can tell that it's digital. It's not practical or anything like that.
Right.
These aren't practical. These are all digital overlay, but he nailed it. The blast from Shipwreck's gun here, all the splashes, the lightning, great job.
What I like about it too is you didn't overdo it.
What I'm noticing about this whole digital background thing is it's all about knowing what your background is before you go into it and then lighting your figures to match the background.
Absolutely.
That's how you make it look so seamless like that. He did an amazing job.
Yeah, getting the lighting, you're absolutely right. Getting the lighting behind the figure, and like you have to. For me, I don't do too much digital background stuff because I suck at it. You can ask the Fallen on Hoodcast. I suck at doing digital overlays and digital backgrounds and shit. You look at some of my old pictures and they're just not good. But it all came from that fact that you have to know how your background is supposed to look in the end shot before you even take your picture. So like using something like a green board or a white board with the board lighted up, or making sure your figure is lighted accordingly to what you're going to have on here. And Toy Addict 40s did a great job here. Next, we got another shot from Midi Ranger. This is really good with the forced perspective here of the background with the lights, the bokeh in the back, as Yumbo would say.
I love the shine off of his helmet. the shine off his helmet and his upper bicep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it lends to the thought that there's like it's either the moon or it's one of the buildings lighting up on him here in Angel
Yeah.
Grove. It's awesome.
Makes it pop for sure.
Again, I'm always a sucker for this portrait style photography because that was always kind of my bread and butter. But the lighting on this is, again, kind of what sells it for me. Like, you nailed it.
Absolutely. The glaring on the front of the visor too.
Yeah.
Right here in the front of the helmet.
It's not easy to get that, like, nighttime lights. And that's kind of what I think he was kind of going for, and he nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another great shot from Midi Ranger. We got Hierophant Horror here with an awesome Freddy shot. Up close on Freddy's glove and that snarly face of his.
Yeah, that's
Hierophant
dope.
does a lot of awesome horror shots too. If you're not following him, check him out. He did back in October. He did one of the Hecktober masterclass collabs that I put on, and I believe he was in the Hellraiser. So he does a lot of great horror shots too. If anybody's not following him, go check out Hierophant Horror.
I like the filter. I don't know if it's the filter he used or what, but it's got a really gritty feel to it.
Yeah,
Which works perfect too for the figure of the character itself.
yeah, and this overlay stuff too that he's got, like the film. It's almost like the film
Yeah.
fuzz or whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome job. And we got an awesome shot here from Raven's Eye Studios. This is a Mythic Legends, I believe. Mythic Legion.
Yeah. It's definitely Mythic Legions.
What's your guys' thoughts on the Mythic Legions? I know Danger Room, you said you had a few. You like them.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I'm kind of scared to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm kind of thinking I may have to jump on board with these Cosmic Legions, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those that have been dropped recently that look pretty cool, but I did so much shit talking about Mythic Legions, and now I'm kind of nervous. Like, now I'm going to look like I'm a flip-flopper if I start buying them.
Yeah, if you like them, buy them. I like them. I think they're cool. I have a hard time shooting fantasy stuff. It's not really my wheelhouse. That Conan is the only real fantasy one I have, and that figure is just phenomenal all around. So
Raven's Eye and Blitz Figs, they do a lot of these Mythic Legion shots, and every time I see them, I'm like, man, why did I talk so much shit in the beginning when they first come out?
I just did a collab with Blitz not too long ago. We did a Mythic Legions collab.
Yes, yeah, I saw it. Blitz does a great job with
he
with
nails
his
it every
lighting.
time.
He's always on point with his lighting and making it like a believable scene that he's in. And Raven's Eye as well. He's no slouch. This one is also very good. I like the can't think of what you call it. The vignette effect here with the black encroaching. And,
yeah, it's almost like a fisheye.
Great shot. The blue light in the back definitely makes everything pop on this figure. I'm not sure what this figure is, but she looks like she might kind of
Lady Verona, I believe is her name.
Great shot from Raven's Eyes. Got another Joe shot here from the Unhuman.
It's sick.
Well, I wonder what this gun, this missile launcher gun here is. What that's from?
it comes with scrap iron. The guy who's in the rear seat, in the seat there, and it's a drone like missile launcher.
Oh, so that comes with the figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite an accessory. And this little milk crate over here full of goodies. His helmet looks like tank, a little gas tank or something shit back here.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
That's
I
a
wonder-
dope shot.
I wonder what it is that he used for this dune, because it looks like he's got practical sand here at the feet.
I actually think I saw the BTS on this, and believe it or not, that is just like brown paper, dude, that he has stuff underneath, and he's crumpled it up over it on top of it. So it's like
Oh, wow.
like packaging wrap. And then he's got it in front of a blue like a sky background.
That's pretty cool. I used so I tried to use brown paper bags before. Actually, just yesterday I was in one of the chats I'm in. I was talking about how I was using a brown paper bag to kind of mold over some shit that I had that I wanted to use as the ground. I've done it before where I take the bag and I get the bag wet and then mold the bag over everything, let it dry a bit.
Yep.
So it kind of makes it look more like terrain. I had the misfortune yesterday of doing all this, doing all that, put the bag out, got it wet, molded it over everything, and then I was trying to figure out what I could use as dirt because I knew my wife wouldn't appreciate me bringing real dirt into the house. So I was talking to the guys in the chat. I was like, "You guys what do you think about instant coffee? Like it's, it's pretty fine powdery shit. Like if I sprinkle that on it, it shouldn't stain the figures, right?" And they're like, "No, not if it's all dry." So I went ahead and I dumped all the instant coffee out on the bag, thinking the bag was dry enough. Before I set up any of my figures on it, though, I was talking to my wife. Fortunately, my wife came in and started talking to me and like kind of distracted me for a while. Because then, before I went to go put my figures on, I noticed that the bag wasn't completely dry and it turned the instant coffee to like a pasty sludge all over. It was like, thank God I didn't put my figures down in that before.
Kinetic sand works well too, and it's easy to clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clintastic uses that. He was telling me he uses that quite a bit. I don't have any. That was the problem. I didn't want to have to go anywhere yesterday and pick up anything, so I was just trying to be clever and use what I had. And it did not work.
I don't have any either, but it's on my list of things I need to get for sure.
So, like another great shot here from Unhuman.
Yeah,
if you're not following the Unhuman already, come out from underneath the come out from underneath the stones you live in and enjoy the Unhuman's work. We got another shot here. This is I think this is his custom rock and roll that he did here in the middle from Codename Steve.
Oh,
classic. Got the classic rock and roll here and the band, the O-ring figures, and these came out in like 2006. The little miniature ones.
It looks like what he did is he took the grunt body and slapped the rock and roll head on it.
I believe he did. This is all custom. I don't think he actually has the rock and roll.
Oh, it's dope.
He's on my wish list, so I might still end up with him, but I don't know. I kind of like this one.
I've supposedly got one coming from Pulse, but they haven't shipped it yet.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. I thought maybe he had in here what parts he used, but I think it
looks like the body of the one that came with the Ram cycle.
I think you're right, man. It definitely looks like that body.
Yeah. Who came with that? Was that a Duke figure that came with that?
A grunt, or I can't remember.
Or somebody, right? Like,
yeah.
Great shot. Another great. He does a lot of the O-ring figures here. Codename Steve does. Definitely awesome. I've done a few collabs with him where he does a shot with the classic O-ring figure, and then I do a shot with the same character from the classified line.
Nice.
Always amazing stuff.
Breaker. That's what the boys are saying in the chat. Yeah, it's Breaker. That body is Breaker. Who comes with the bike.
Breaker.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to look at the chat. I didn't say hello. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you all for joining. We got Ravens in the studio, Terrell Comics, Deadman One, Blitz, Thor, Green Geek. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful Sunday. We've also, next shot, we've got 112 Wonders showing off. This looks like almost like the Thanos snap effect going on as he's holding him.
Oh, that's cool, man. He's got the pose down, which is sick. I like that effect, actually. That's pretty dope.
Yep, agreed.
He does a lot of great dios. He does custom dios, and he's got an Etsy shop, too. There's actually, if you go to my Instagram page, the link in my bio, I have his Etsy shop for his dios up there. Great guy. Talented artist. We got JPS Big Picks here with a nice Mandalorian shot. The little baby Grogu.
Nice.
That's a good shot. Again, the lighting is what's really impressing in this one to me.
Yeah, the lighting, the ground. I can't tell what the ground is. That actually looks like real clay on the ground for that shot.
Yeah. It's not, I bet it's not instant coffee.
I want to say that is an extreme set. So the floor probably comes with
actually a gritty floor? Or do you have to add the gritty
absolutely.
texture?
No,
Oh, wow.
the floor comes with like images printed on it, so it looks.
No kidding. I don't have any extreme sets. I know a lot of people that use them, and like it's all incredible. My problem is I'm too damn cheap. I can't if I buy too many backdrops or if I buy extreme sets, that means I can't buy any figures that week. I'm sure.
Well, what I did to start out was I picked the one that I knew I was going to use the most. So I went with a city back, like an alley, like a city. You know what I mean? Like, because most of the stuff I was going to shoot, I could shoot in that one background if I had to. So if you're only going to buy one, you just choose the one that's the most conducive to the stuff you shoot. I mean, they're worth it, man. I'm not gonna lie; they are phenomenal, and you can fold them up, put them away.
That's what I was going to ask. I know some people say they store pretty easy, but I wasn't sure if it was the ones that they click together or if they just unfold.
Yeah, they're literally cardboard boxes that you just unfold and it all sits together. Like
Now, because they're cardboard, do you get any sort of glare from light reflecting off it? No.
they put them in. They know what we're using them for, and when they print them with like a matte finish so that you don't get that glare.
Sick. I'm gonna have to try and get one. I've been eyeballing them too. Like basically since the start, I've been doing this. Same idea. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. They're expensive here in Canada too. Like they're over $100. So
And that probably doesn't
like
include
I said,
shipping.
if you pick the one that you're going to use the most, $100 really isn't that bad for something you're going to use as much as I guarantee you will use them.
sure.
Especially some of the new ones, because some of the new ones come with staircases and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're reusable. It's all depending on how you ship them around and move stuff. Like you're getting a lot of different variations out of one product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like it's a lot of bang for your buck. That's for sure.
Full show. By the way, you can send me one extreme sets because I just.
We got the Bronx Bat here with Jay and Silent Bob having a little conversation with Doc Brown. I love seeing the Bronx Bats stuff come up on the feed. He does a lot of funny shit. I try to. I think I take myself too seriously. I don't usually do too much comedy oriented or funny shots.
Yeah.
So it's always refreshing to see somebody that does it so well. So shout out to the Bronx Bat.
Can't go wrong with Dave and Bob. I mean,
and this one, I popped pretty hard for this one. This is hilarious. This is from Guitar Garth. It says, "You guys want to hear Wonderwall?" I love he's got the sand too here. He's on the beach. I think this is from the new Monster or Mutant Mayhem figures, I believe, which are great figures.
I don't really like them, but I want the van.
I think that van, you're going to see a lot of people getting that van and customizing it into like the Punisher van.
That's what my plan is. I thought about making one look like the A-Team van, to be honest with you.
That would be pretty cool too. I think the problem if you're doing the Punisher van is you got to be able to have Juggernaut sitting in the shotgun seat. You know, if you've read that Kill Crew comic, you know Juggernaut rolls with Punisher in that whole comic. So I don't know. They seems a little.
That never even made sense to me, even in the comic. Like, how do you put the Juggernaut in the side?
That fucking panel because he had it was Punisher and then he picked up Juggernaut and he had Foggy from Daredevil, Foggy Nelson with him, and there was a scene where Juggernaut he gets seasick or car sick or whatever, and he throws up all over the back of Foggy Nelson. It was fucking such a bizarre scene in the comic.
Nice.
Great shot from Guitar Garth. What we got next? We got Championship Collector here with some more Mutant Mayhem figures. And I love how he framed this shot, the framing like he's looking up from the sewer grate. This is incredible.
That's sick. Yeah, good eye for that. Like that's a wicked angle.
Yeah, no doubt. I never would have even thought of that. That's awesome.
That's dope as fuck.
It's almost like they're all considering, well, who's going down first? You know, we got Superfly, Rocksteady Bebop, and Leatherhead here. Great shot from Championship Collector. We got Toy Box picks. This is freaking hilarious.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I love the haze or the fade look to it, so it looks like it's straight out of an old Godzilla movie, but it's stayed puff. Oh, it's incredible.
The way he put that all together and has it look so seamless, that is awesome.
I'm not sure what line that I'm pretty sure this Godzilla is a Monster Arts from the looks of it, or maybe a NECA. But I'm not sure who made this Stay Puft guy, but I love this shot. This is
I've seen it. I can't remember who made it. There's a part of me though that wants to see another shot with the flame coming out of his mouth and him roasting the marshmallow man.
Absolutely. Great shot from Toy Box Picks. Gundam pick here in our shot from JPS Big Picks. I don't know too much about the Gundams.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dope shot though.
The light framing on this works great for these robots.
That's awesome. I love the Gundam series, man, but I buy the model. I bought the models. I put them together. I went to shoot them, and every time you touch them, everything falls apart and falls off.
Oh, jeez.
But I'm seeing that they make ones now that are action figures. Basically, they're the models that have been put together correctly.
So they can
and you
articulate.
Can buy them. So I may have to consider buying a couple and getting into it because they do look amazing when you shoot them right.
I think this is like supposed to be Sailor Moon.
I was just gonna say that as I'm watching it on my TV as well, just so I can get a better look at the visuals.
Yeah, so am I. And yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what it was.
That's what it looks like with the little bow.
Ring lighting is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, the ring light, the way that he framed it with the ring light behind, it's fantastic. Another great shot. Go check out JPS Big Pics. And we got Biko San. This is the first Wolverine and Deadpool photo I think I've seen since they had those pictures leaked.
I don't have a good enough Deadpool, or I'd be on the bandwagon.
I love how Deadpool's got the camera. Like they're filming here. He's filming Wolverine.
Yeah, they're filming it. That's pretty cool, actually. I like this one a lot.
I like it.
Vigos does a lot of great stuff too. He nailed the lighting with the cityscape in the background, and it says Tony Hawk inspired. This is awesome. Great shot.
So cool, man. Yeah, great job on this.
I wonder if Tech Deck realizes that toy photography is why they're having a resurgence in selling products.
They probably realize it by now, and they're just going to keep on pumping them out.
Oh yeah, they keep pumping them out for sure.
Got another shot here from Codename Steve, a Copperhead with all the different versions of Copperhead too. This is awesome. I love how he layers in. I don't think he layered them in on this one. I think they're all actually in the shot, but where he sprinkles in the classic lines, the other figures with the same classic.
Yeah, I'm not hating that he's got the water moccasin in there. I love that thing.
Yeah, that's from the that's not from the O-ring line though. Is it?
No, I think that's like a new version of it.
Yeah, it looks like the newer version.
I can't think of what line this figure is here that's in the cockpit. I can't think of what line that was from, but I think that's the one that the moccasin came right there.
I don't know, but I've got mine on waiting to be shipped from Big Bad, and this is a figure that I've wanted since they started these, and I cannot wait.
Now, here's one thing that you guys might know better than me on this. With these Hasbro classified series, are their heads kind of interchangeable with other Hasbro lines, or do they not really fit in the pets?
Um, it seems like they kind of, I don't know, they kind of sometimes like they'll pop out with legends and stuff. Not so much like when it comes to like Black Series figures, those heads, man, it's weird. Almost every figure has a different head joint. It's almost like they don't want you kit bashing their figures easily. But
I noticed that with the Indiana Jones figures too. I bought the white suit Indiana Jones, so because I only wanted it so I could have I wanted the Harrison Ford head for a GI Joe, so I could do like a Red Hulk shot.
yeah,
Oh
With
shit!
Ross transforming. But when I took the head off, it does not go into any of the other Hasbro's. But I know the Indiana Jones figures, they're kind of more scaled with the Black Series rather than with the Marvel Legends. But being as the Joes are scaled same, I was just looking at this picture, and I think that Copperhead Buck would be a perfect new torso for the Unworthy Collector figure that I usually use Hercules body with.
okay.
It's even got the Cobra logo. I could easily
Yeah,
change that to be the Unworthy Collector logo, and then pop the Fat Thor head on it.
yeah. It's, I
I'll have to
mean,
try it
it's
out.
something you could put it this way. It's something that you could definitely manage because even if there is a little bit of a difference, it's not one that you couldn't fix easily with a little sticky tack or some hot glue. Like,
Yeah, especially if it's going to be something that's all I'm going to use it for. If I have to Dremel the neck peg or whatever to fit, or
right.
like if the head's too big, just
It's
like you said,
usually,
put some
from what I've seen, when it comes to swapping Joe heads, because even within the line, sometimes they don't seem to really just pop on and off. Like, there's slight differences, but like I
Yeah.
said, most of it is like it's just you might have to fill in a tiny little gap or something. Like, it's worth doing for sure. I mean, who doesn't want
I
to see that
see
figure?
Thor commented here. He said, "Not really, there because there's no head swaps for them Joes, which is a shame." I think I might still, I think I might still try to pick this figure up and see if I can't make a custom Unworthy out of it. Although now this one was pretty popular when it came out, probably won't be able to find him.
You can get it on BBTS right now.
Is it still on there? I'm gonna have to get on there after here and order that. And then look at this, we got the late bird showing up, Toy Addict himself. Yes, you are late. Click happy here. All right. What's next? I just put that back up there. All right, what we got next? We got our alien shot here from Hierophant Horror. This looks like it's inside of like a blender or a washing machine, doesn't it?
Yeah. I love the
This
red
looks like
figure though. I don't even know what alien is.
I like it.
great. That's the neck. I think that is the. You'll have to bear with me because I'm colorblind, so this all looks gray. But if you're saying it's the figure's red, I think NECA put out like a red variant of the Xenomorph.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I was just looking over at my Xenomorph. So yeah, they don't have that one. That's for sure.
And up next we got another one. Our shot here from the Bronx Bat, and this is the. I actually just picked up. I just got these Ninja Turtles. This is from the Batman versus Ninja Turtles wave, and those
Okay,
turtles
yeah.
are fucking amazing.
Yeah, I
Got
almost bought
Krang
those
over
sets
here.
mainly because I liked the Batman characters that came with them. I wasn't really that turned on with the turtles, but that is a pretty cool figure.
I
And I
just
need
picked
it.
up recently. I got the there was two packs. I got the one. It was Leonardo and Batman came in one pack, and then Robin and Raphael came in another one. And the Robin is hands down the best Robin.
Yeah, agreed. That figure is what turned me on to that set, and the Alfred too.
Yeah.
What
the only
scale
problem
are
I
those figures?
had, their scale with they're from DC Direct, so they're
Okay.
1/9 scale, so they're like the 7-inch versions. But
Yeah.
the turtles are a bit shorter, and they did pretty well with that. Actually, let me see if I can grab that real quick. So they scale pretty well. It looks like the turtle is the same height as Batman here, but he's actually it's just the way that he's in the blister because Batman's feet come down a lot further. So, he's actually scaled to be the height of a teenager versus, standing next to Batman.
Yeah,
And then
not
vice
bad.
versa, Raphael is really big, and then Robin is really small.
That's actually.
Not bad at
I
all.
don't think we've even. I don't even remember even seeing that here in Canada. I've seen.
Yeah,
The only crossover that I see really in stores is the Street Fighter TMNT crossover.
Yeah, these ones came out in I think like 2012.
Oh, okay.
When they came out, I don't think anybody wanted them, and then all of a sudden, like, you go to get them now, and it's like, yeah, I remember seeing them in Target and stuff when they came out, and I was like, eh. And then later on, I was like, oh man, I really should have bought those.
Yeah.
You can see on the back, you can see where they're standing next to each other. You can see the scale.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's pretty sick.
But yeah, I think these came out in like 2012. It was before McFarlane got or not 2012, like 2016, I think.
All of those. Man. The Ra's al Ghul is awesome. The Batgirl is awesome.
Came with a lot of great accessories. The only problem I had is being as they were old, they were still new in box. They were mint when I bought them.
Yeah.
The only problem I had is because they were older, the plastic was brittle a little bit in the package. And when I opened the Robin and Raphael one, just taking Robin out of the package, I snapped his fucking leg off. I was able to fix it. I was able to glue it back together because you could see where it wasn't the peg ripped the hole out basically on the one side. But when I glued it back together, you could see where the ring part of it had white where the plastic was, but then the paint was inside, so it was cracked already when they painted it.
Yeah.
So I was able to get it glued back together. I put them back in the box. I've done a couple shots with them, but like I'm not going to have them out on my display because I don't want them to fall over. I don't want my kids to get a hold of it and snap it again because it wasn't a cheap pickup for those.
Yeah, for sure. We all have those.
We got another link shot here from JPS Big Pigs, Legend of Zelda. Like
Great
blurring.
I like that blur.
Yeah, really
real action
emotion.
And we've got Black and Wednesdays with a splash of yellow shot here from Thor. And I think this is the DC Direct Wonder Woman, maybe.
Yeah, he fucking nailed that
this
shot.
Ooh,
This is crazy.
that is nasty.
Yes. I love the black and yellow or the Black and Wednesdays that Toy Addict's been doing. And I really have loved the yellow. I've been trying to focus on using figures that have yellow accessories, kind of like Thor did here. This is awesome. I love the black and white I love how the lasso's lit up. This is perfect. Great shot from Thor.
Who's the
Hey,
asshole?
look at this guy. We got Danger Room.
Okay.
It's my shot.
We got Danger Room toy photography with this beautiful Azrael shot.
Oh.
That is fire.
Is that? Tell her
Yeah,
hush. This ain't her show. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
We're not talking about you this time. Get out of here. Awesome shot here, Danger Room. Tell me, because I know I've done a collab or two with you now. I know that you take your shots generally in a wider portrait and then you crop them in.
Yeah.
So tell us a little peek. us a little peek behind the curtain, if you will. On
Yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure. So the flame effect that was used in here was from the 2-pack with the Batman and oh my god, the Azrael Batman armor McFarlane set. I've been wanting to shoot it for the longest time. It's just trying to figure out what to do with that flame effect and not make it look too hokey. So there's just the way I angled it. I used a ring light underneath, a color changing ring light to, obviously you can see the red on the brick. One LED light above him to get the shadows in there, and then I just used a filter on Instagram just to give it that grainy comic book feel. I wanted like a 90s comic book feel for this shot. And just, I just went in close with my camera, zoomed in, and that's the product of it. And the other reason too why I used the red ring light underneath, so you can see the red on his on the armor coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. This is an awesome shot.
This is awesome. I love the glare on the gold part of the armor. You know, the way that it showcases that emblem there.
Yeah, and the other,
I think my favorite part is the way you use that effect to kind of like frame him in.
Yeah,
put him in the foreground. That's awesome.
You remember I wanted to go for like a 90s trading card feel. You remember like Marvel had those Fleer Ultra cards? That's where I got the inspiration from for this.
You know, a lot of your remind me of that, actually, now that you say that. Yeah, like the one that stands out to me the most is the one you just did with the flash, the reverse flash. You know, that looks like it could be straight out of the Fleer deck, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, now we've been showing off some of these from the Unworthy AF tag. What I want to do here is I have some that I went through last night. I went and saved a few that I wanted to showcase. I can get in here to where my saved files are. I got, there we go, on it. I have 7 shots here that I saved. I wanted to showcase here. Back up, there we go. First one up is from Phantom_Toyography. Here with this awesome Constantine shot. You know this guy?
Yeah, he's a really cool dude, man. He's from Australia. So mine, well, we're on the same time zone pretty much too. So his time zone is really out of whack. I've done a couple collabs with him. He's super cool, dude. He always nails his lighting too. You see a lot of his work. Everybody give him a follow too, by the way. Yeah, he's just a super chill dude.
Noticed I'm not following. There we go. Fix that. Yeah, what stood out to me is the background here, how he's got like the library here behind him with the little record player in the chair. You know, like Constantine's going through the House of Mystery, pulling off some books to do some fuckery, I'm sure. I love the lighting, the way that it's backlit behind him. I was very impressed with this.
Very impressive. It gives a really 3-dimensional look with his props in that background.
Is that an extreme set, you think, behind him?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Unless it could be like one of the mansion ones and he's got it really blurred out.
The props are spot on. Like it even could almost be like a digital background that he put Constantine over. He just
kind of what it looks like, but if it is, he nailed the cutout.
Absolutely. Fantastic shot from Phantom Toyography. And then I don't get too high on the Funko Pops, but I do like to see Funko Pop shots every now and then. And this one stood out to me last night. I was going through.
It's super crisp.
Yes, the
very vibrant.
Popeye here in the woods. I love it. The spinach can.
You're gonna get a pop. I mean, is there really anyone better to get than a Popeye? I mean,
yeah, it's so cool.
Absolutely. Great shot from Prez First Lady. She does a lot on the Everyday Treasures collab group. They do the daily hashtags there. Be sure to check those guys out. And we got a shot here of Indiana Jones from Wholesome_Toy_Family. and this is actually from a collab that he did with Dupocalypse, and I just thought he nailed this. The whole scene, great shot here.
That is a
That
great
scene is
shot.
incredible. I can't get my eyes off the background there. That's coming through the ruins. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's I believe that is in past the doorway here has got to be digital, I would imagine. But like he
Yeah.
blended it so perfectly that
He
you can't
may,
really
he,
tell.
he may have shot it in front of the screen so that he could place all this stuff in front of it
Oh yeah.
with like a laptop screen behind it.
Yeah, he,
But
the
either way-
framing on this, the everything about this, the accoutrement here in the background, the skull, the little demon mask here, fantastic job. The little spiders, I think these are. And Apocalypse had a great shot as well. So the theme for their collab was unexplored. So we got a Pokemon shot here with Ash and Pikachu doing some exploring.
I
He's
like
got
that
the
a lot.
little lizard or the little bug critters up here.
the angle he did on this is incredible too.
Yes, and the stuff here in the front really frames it all in.
Yeah.
To draw your eye naturally to Ash and Pikachu. Great shot. From
Well
Apocalypse.
composed. I love that figure, man. I need one of those.
That was a nice little collab they did. I wanted to feature those guys. Got a good Boba Fett shot here from Star.Laws as well. I love the blurring, the focus blurring here, drawing your eye to Boba Fett. But then you
I'm
still
always a
see
big
the
fan
slave
of
one.
that style of shooting. That pops me every time I see someone do this.
Yeah, and it especially looks good in an outdoor environment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he just landed on this planet and he's about to go do what bounty hunters do. Great shot from Star-Lord. And then this one, oh my goodness, this one popped me big time last night when I seen this pop up from Toy Matzer or Matzer. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but this shot is incredible.
This guy, it's another one, another account I follow as well. His work, like literally every shot he does is this quality. Like it is fucking insane.
Wow.
Yeah, and I believe he's a newer account.
Newer account. He's only got like a few hundred followers, which is fucking mind blowing.
Yes. And I'm going to be linking everybody when I do the follow-up post from this episode. I'm going to be linking everybody's shots that we talked about here in this last little feature part. So if you're not following Toy Matzer, go do it. Follow this guy. He's got incredible shots. But this one last night popped me. The underlighting from the smoke. The way he's got the eyes glowing here on the figure. And this figure is dope as well. And he just...
Yeah, I've been looking at an Arkham Knight for a while, and I just haven't pulled the trigger. This thing is sick.
Of all the Red Hoods, I don't own this one. Unbelievably, I gotta get it.
Yeah, you got to get on it. Actually, I got them too.
I know the only thing is now that I'm looking at it further, I'm pretty sure this is the McFarlane one because of the way that he's got the. I almost just pointed with my finger as if you guys would know where the hell I'm pointing. If you could look at his back leg here, he's kind of got that McFarlane textured outfit look. But this also could be the Gucci, because I know Yamaguchi put out Arkham.
The Yamaguchi one is amazing. That's the one I've been staring at.
Yeah.
Either way, whichever one it is, this is an incredible shot. And we got this awesome Warhammer shot here from riderkick.jp.1990. I believe this is Warhammer. Yes, Warhammer. I don't know anything about Warhammer. I have a couple of those alien, like the 6-arm alien things there, just as like fodder, like to have fighting people. But I love this figure. The tusks here in the front of his helmet.
Yeah. The
Not
skull
really sure.
spikes, the guys in the background too. He layered this really well.
Yeah. I love the embers, the burning embers floating around here. The background, you see the city ruins.
Well composed shot.
Yes. And Ryder Kick, he does a lot of great shots. If you're not following him, definitely check this guy out. He does a lot of these great. The perspective and the focus on his shots are always on point.
Yeah,
Always
very
great.
crisp.
Then I believe the last one I got here. This one made me pop pretty hard last night too, because I've been wanting a good animated series Batman figure, and this is such a well composed shot. Batman sneaking in here.
It's so fucking good, man. The light from the background too, like it's the perfect mixture, right? Because you got the 4 light for his face, but the glow from the side, it's so good.
That's phenomenal.
I think this must be I think this is the Mezco animated series. Or maybe not Mezco, maybe what the hell was the other one that did the animated?
Mafex, maybe.
Mafex did, yeah. And then there I think damn it, I can never remember that. Beast Kingdom. I think Beast Kingdom did one as well.
I don't know, but that looks like an animation cell, man. Like that is amazing.
And the you're focused here on Batman, but he's walking into this nasty scene 'cause you see the Dick Grayson Robin here laid out.
Yeah.
Something terrible happened, and it's a dirty room like it should be, like the dirt stains dripping down the column here.
It probably involved a crowbar.
Yes. This is a great shot. This is from Mansell 472. And he's another one. He does a lot of great shots. Definitely go check him out. I believe that was the last one. And now comes the fun part here. I'm going to go to your guys' pages. And I'd like to talk to you guys about some of your shots if you still got time. What are we running on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we still got some time. Let's start off down here. Oh my goodness, I can't type. We'll start it off here with Mr. Bingo himself.
Bingo.
Oh, goodness. I can't believe I just did that. Back at it. All right. Back on. You got your, yeah, there we go. Okay. Mr. Matt Belrose, Toy Art Unlimited. Take a look at some of your shots here. Actually, I want to start off with my favorite shot. You post quite a bit.
I try and spend 18 minutes a day on it.
Right.
Oh, that's sick. Holy shit.
One of my most favorite shots that you've done recently. Go ahead and give us a little look behind the curtain and tell us what's going on here.
Okay, so I found this company on eBay called Simple Backdrops that sends you, they're basically like just 2 pieces of cardboard, one for the back, one for the floor. It's got a prop that stands up, and that's what this backdrop is. Super simple. They're cheap. They're like $30, and you can store them like anywhere, and they got a lot of different options. But anyways, that's what it started out with. And then of course, that's the Mezco Conan that I cannot stop shooting, but it's the alternate head. And it's got the Punisher. The Punisher that came with the motorcycle came with this helmet for some reason. I never understood why until I put this together.
That's from that helmet that came with him. It's from the Kill Crew comic book run after the War of the Realms.
Okay.
So Punisher was kind of going out on like cosmic missions. That's where he had the van with Juggernaut and Foggy
Gotcha.
Nelson. And he had one of those. He had that helmet for that run.
That's where that helmet came from. And it just seemed like all I could think of was the Dragonborn on Skyrim. So that's kind of what I was going for. And then I just kind of lit it with a blue light from the top right-hand side to match that crisp, snowy look. And then I hit it with like a warm white light in the front.
Yeah, the attention to detail you always put into your lighting, it definitely never ceases to amaze. But this is definitely, as of late, this is one of my most favorite pictures that you've done.
I feel like lighting is one of those tricks that it's one of the most important parts of any photography, really. But if you learn how to use your lighting, it allows you to a lot more options as to what you can shoot without having to do it digitally.
Absolutely. And that's the simple backdrops right here that you're talking about.
Yeah, same thing. And then that's a rock that I made out of you get that spray foam that comes in the can, and you just, for like caulking, you just spray a huge mound of it and start chopping away, and that's what you get. You get rocks like that once you paint it.
That's another thing that I've always appreciated about your page, and having the pleasure of knowing you and talking to you behind the scenes too, is you're very creative, and you try to make sure that everything is as practical as it can be. And you've given me a lot of pointers in the past about how to make practical effects. So,
yeah, man. To me, that's kind of what it's all about, is helping each other all get better. And I learned a lot of tricks and stuff when I was in school, and that's the stuff that I can still apply. And that's kind of, it's like, it's all part of the community, man. Like, that's what I always loved about being part of this group, is everyone shares. So it's like, if I can help you or anyone else get better, I'm definitely going to tell you how I do things. It's just the way it is.
This is another good one that you've posted recently that I liked. The gargoyle versus, is that the Mezco blade?
That is the Mezco blade, yep. Versus the NECA gargoyle.
That's sick. What's the bike he's on?
It's one of those diecast, just a diecast Ducati that I typed in 112 motorcycle in eBay, and this was the one I went with.
That's killer.
It looked real Blade to me, and that was kind of the main reason I was going to buy one, was for Blade and maybe Snake Eyes, and it worked for both of them. With this one, I kind of just did almost the same thing I did with the other shot, only I lit it from the left side with a red-orange light. Then I hit it from the front with like a regular white light. And then I had the mister, that's my claim to fame, or those
one of your go-tos.
So I hit it with the mister, and that created all the smoke. So then when I went into my app and I added the filter to it, it kind of made everything all come together. But the mister and backlighting is the claim to most of my really good shots, honestly, to be honest with you.
There's one more on here. I should have tagged them or put them in that same save file, so it wasn't scrolling so much. You recently, as I'm scrolling through here too, you recently got into doing some wrestling figure shots. How have you been feeling about that? You've been enjoying doing that?
Fallen was kind enough to send me a box of pretty much almost every wrestler that I grew up loving. And originally I was like, yeah, like I'm into wrestling, but I get it, but it's not really me. Then he sent those to me, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. These figures are dope. So recently I just got a ring from my nephew that got on loan, and I'm going to start doing more WWF stuff. I've got like a thought in mind, because I've got a Hogan and a Mr. T and a Rowdy Piper. So I think we're going to do some WrestleMania action there, probably sometime today. But yeah, those figures are sick, and it's all just a matter of finding the right way to shoot them.
And this was the next one I wanted to bring up of yours that I really enjoyed. This NECA Ronin figure. You've been doing a lot of great shots with this figure, but this one stood out to me just in general, the way that the whole scene is pulled together here with the fence. I know Danny Toypix, he's a big fan of the fence shots too.
Yeah, this is That NECA Ronin, man, that figure, the unarmored one is pretty cool, but the armored one is just so awesome. It just looks so good. And as far as the back, yeah, again, that's an extreme set, man. That's the city extreme background that I had, and it comes with that chain link fence and the floor and everything. It
Now,
makes
is
it
that
look.
chain link? Is that like is that printed or is that a physical
Yeah,
piece?
that's just printed. That's not even 3D. That's not like.
That's incredible because the way that
Yeah,
it's printed, it's got
that's
the
what I
neon
mean. The
sign.
detail that
Mhm.
the detail that they put on that stuff is top notch. And then I again, like, there's my claim to fame, side lighting and Mister. This one, I think I lit it with like a purple on one side and then a blue on the other side.
Fantastic work from you. And if you're not following Toy Art Unlimited, then please go do so. Fantastic work from this guy.
Appreciate
Great,
it.
always great support too, as well. Like I said earlier, you know, anytime I've ever had questions, I know, like when I first started getting into using the camera versus using my phone, even like you were very helpful with that. I could hit you up and you'd right away you would have some pointers for me, and always down to share tips. So you're a very supportive guy in the community as well as talented photographer.
I do what I can, man.
And now let's take a look at Danger Room Toy Photography's page here. Some shots I wanted to highlight. Starting off with this one that just blew my mind the other day when you posted it. This Vampire Superman.
He's such a good figure, man. That head sculpt, unreal. Like, I knew right away. Like, as soon as I opened him up, the direction I was going. So this was probably the easiest shot I've done in a while. It's basically, I only use 2 lights, completely dark room. I shoot a lot of my stuff just in a dark room, and I'll light it up from there because I just find you can make the shadows, the colors, the pop go in the direction you want to go versus natural lighting. It just comes more natural to me to do so. But yeah, this was just done with 2 LED lights. I had one on the side where you get the side portrait coming in, where you get the glare, you can see the light shining there, and then one light below him to get the lightness from his hand. But yeah, I mean, like this figure, like he literally hit Canada the day it came out 2 days ago, and I grabbed them right away. Just everything about him, the details in the face, the bloodshot eyes he has too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a sick shot and a really
this
sick
shot
thing.
gives me those Nosferatu vibes, like immediately those scenes where he's reaching through. And when I saw this shot, I popped big time. I know you told me how you found him that day. We had just been messaging before you posted this. So I was like, because you asked me if I was looking for any of them. I was like, I don't know, because for the longest time I've been avoiding this vampire line, because the DC versus vampire comic was so great, but the characters that they'd made figures of were not even actually vampires in the comic, so none of them made any sense to me.
Yeah.
Superman kind of was a vampire in the comic. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother show. But when I saw this shot, I'm like, all right, I've got to get this Superman. Now I've got everybody I know. I'll look, make, if you find one, you let me know. I'll send you money right away.
He's so worth the pickup, and like that's like my favorite way to shoot too, is just up close and personal like that. So getting a head sculpt like this is like my bread and butter.
And again, you do this all with your phone, and it's just incredible. Like the way that you catch the details on this with the lighting, that underlighting shining up through his hand, it frames his face and draws your attention into those those scary eyeballs and that big old open evil grin. Fantastic shot here, man.
I appreciate that.
Next one I wanted to show off down here. This incredible action scene right here.
Yeah, that's what. So like again, like I love doing like close-up portrait shots, and I've just kind of made this thing of doing it like once a week, is just like KO blows with 2 figures. Anytime I get a deluxe figure, like I find them more easier to shoot than just your standard, like your 6-inch fig rather. I got this idea. I was at work and I was just like, you know what? today fucking Red Hulk's taking on Venom, and that's the product of it. Same idea. Like most of my shots are done generally with just two lights. These two LED lights I have. Actually got one right here. 1 second. So basically, you would use this for like your car, man. So
Okay.
and they're magnetic too, which is great. So a lot of times, it's because I shoot everything with my phone, no tripod. All the angles I do is manually done by myself, whether it's laying on the floor, being a fucking contortionist, Cirque du Soleil type shit. But these things with magnets on the back are a real lifesaver. Same idea. So completely dark, one light above. You can see the light kind of shining off of Venom's back. And again with a light below, and that's the product of it. Again, when I find like doing close-up shots too, especially with like a hard-hitting punch like that, you get more of the raw emotion. And I'm a big fan of them too, because not only do I shoot everything on my phone, 95% of the time when you're on Instagram, you're on your phone. So I want stuff like that to hit you right in the face as soon as you see it, as much as I for doing them as well.
Yeah, and this is 100% a believable hard-hitting shot. You see, even with Venom's, foot is up in the air because he's going flying on this blow. Incredible posing on it.
Yeah, the posing is amazing.
Do you use anything to like any stands or flight stands or wires or anything?
No, so like same my thing. Like I try and be as practical as possible. So for Venom here, I wish I had one in here. Basically, they have these wooden skids at Dollarama, and they're perfect for figure photography. So basically, what I did was I just used two of them to arch up his hip there to have that foot. But other than that, that's his other leg wrapped behind Red Hulk, and just the way. Sorry, I got the Marvel Select one here in my hand, so not the same one. Basically, I just twisted his hips for that punch, and he's actually holding Venom up like that. Well, with the exception of the two wooded pallets holding up his hip there.
That's incredible. I know I always have a hard time with action sequences trying to edit out wires or flight stands. I'm not so good at it. So when I see people doing it, and it's like all practical, man, I gotta give them their credit where credit's due, and this is definitely
like I said, posing is something I need to work on because people are killing it, and that is an amazing shot.
And the next one I wanted to feature right here.
Oh yeah, it's
a beautiful shot.
This shot here, it basically that put a shift in the way I shoot things, and it's not that old. I think this is only a couple of weeks old. Same idea. Like I get these like crazy ideas while I'm at work, and I'm like, man, as soon as I get home, I'm fucking doing this. With this beast shot, I actually originally was doing like a wider range shot. I had the whole setup all ready to go, and it was going to be Beast in his lab with Professor X, like the Jim Lee style, and the big yellow hover chair. It turned out okay. As I went back and I was going through my shots, I had this crazy idea. I'm like, why don't I just do this real tight fucking close-up shot with him holding up the flask? And I hadn't shot Beast yet in his trench coat. And the glasses, I actually, that day too, I had just glued on to his head. I don't know why they weren't fucking attached to his face to begin with, because they do not hold well at all.
They don't stay. It doesn't stay.
No. So basically, I just glued the very edge where you would go around his ear, so that way you can you have play to lift it up and down, and just man. I just figured, the way the glasses are there over the nose like that, it's so photogenic, and man, like this is probably in like my top 3 favorite shots that I did just for that, because when I shot this, I'm like, like when I start doing close-up portrait shots, everything I do from then on is going to be based off of this shot, the way I pose it, the way it's lit. This one here had an extra light, so color changing ring light to the I guess that's the left side of his face, just to give it that extra little glow. So I believe it was on like an orangish tint. You can kind of see it on his trench coat, and then and just those 2 LED lights, one below and one above, and that's the product of it.
That's beautiful. I love when you do these up close shots, the focus blurring that you know goes into these. Like on this one in particular, the shadow falling over of his finger falling over the beaker or
Yeah.
the label on the beaker here. You could still tell that's the label. I think it says like X gene or something
Yeah,
like
she,
that on the bottle. But the focus blurring is always top notch with your shots.
yeah, that's something too. Like when I go and do a shot like this, I don't want just like a close-up shot. I know I want something out of focus, but not too out of focus, if that makes sense. Whether it's a hand or if it's a prop or an object, and I'll take the shot from there with that image in my head.
Beautiful. I love and I appreciate you guys giving your behind the scenes input on the way you do things as well. So, well, gentlemen, it has been awesome having you on, being able to talk about your shots. Toy Art Unlimited, you got any good big plans this evening for any shots, upcoming shots you got worked on?
I don't really have a lot going on today, so I'm planning on using it as a work day. So I think today's may very well be a Star Wars day. I've kind of been feeling some Star Wars, so we'll see what happens.
Awesome. How about you, Danger Room?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on this new collab with the Torontonian boys. I know Terrell Comics was in the comment section earlier, and I believe Will David was in there as well. So there's a bunch of us. We're doing a storyboard comic strip collab that Will David wrote this insanely fucking piece for, man. I can't wait to share with you guys. It'll be up this time next week for sure. I think there's about 6 or 7 of us doing this. It's different than my style. Usually I'm just like a one and done shot fucking type of guy. So I really gotta bring out my A game for this, for posing, everything. So it's gonna be basically like a number of panels, different shots. It's gonna be like you're gonna be reading a comic book. We all have the same script that we're doing, just different characters. So I'll be working on that.
That's an awesome collab idea.
Yeah. So be sure to check that out.
I plan on getting some shots in today too. I tried doing some yesterday and they all kind of fell to the wayside, but I did pick up this American JBL. I'm going to try to get a shot in of this guy today for the UC Masters, or not Masters Class, Monday Night Mayhem collab. And I picked this guy. Well, I didn't pick him up. I got him delivered this week. This new Flash with the sidebar Build-A-Figure set. I cannot wait to figure out who is the next one that's coming out, but I am also excited about getting this guy open today and trying to take a shot at him. And speaking of collabs, I do have one thing I want to plug here before we get off, and that's this coming up next Wednesday is the next No Justice collab, and it's Arkham Nightmare. So it's any Batman villains, any Batman rogues, or it could even be evil versions of Batman. So if anybody wants to get in on this collab, just shoot me a message. We've been having a lot of fun with these No Justice collabs. So that's the calendar. I can also send you more. If anybody's interested, I can send the complete list of upcoming ones for anybody who wants to get involved. Just shoot me a message. And with that being said, gentlemen, I appreciate you being on. It's been a good time. I've loved hearing the insight you guys are giving, and appreciate everything you guys do for the community.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the invite. This has been a blast.
Thank you for everything you do for the community, my man. Anything for the family.
Absolutely. And to everybody that was in the chat, thank you for hanging out with us today on this Sunday morning. And we will probably be doing more of these Unworthy AFs live moving on in the future. I think this one went pretty well. So again, thank you guys very much. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast, and then I will see you guys in the backstage.
All
right, everybody. Have a good one.